I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You will never be what I expected. Different frequencies, that's why we ain't connected. You know I will make it through, I got nothing to lose but you. It's true you're so far away, and it's true I can feel the same. It's another day, you know you want me to stay, but I go my way. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not, because I still believe. You're my gravity. You're my gravity. You're calling out my name, but the echo numbs your pain. Sorry, but more than just a shadow, I'm more than just a man. You don't care how I feel, you don't know how I feel. No, you don't know how. I wash away the sorrow till my heart can beat again. You're my gravity. No, you're my gravity. I will let you go, the only thing that I know. You were my gravity, but now I have to leave. I will let you go. Why do you feel that I want? What do you think that I want? I know how to breathe into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity, into my gravity. I know it's hard, I know it's complicated, but I promised you I've been waiting here forever. I had a much to say, but you're not here with me, no. We're invincible, like fire in the snow. Trust me when I say you are my beautiful world, and I'm feeling it all, we should make an effort. It's true you're so far away, and it's true you don't feel the same. But if you take my hand, we can try and go back, starting from scratch. I won't let you go, no I can't let you go, 'cause you're my gravity, and I will never leave. I won't let you go, no baby I will not.
Warning. The Duracell Cup Series data file you have attempted to access is out of date. Uploading current file now.
It's a brand new car from stem to stern, and it's never been raced at these speeds.
The next gen car is opportunity.
Everything is different with the exception of like the seat, the steering wheel, and your helmet.
Unknown creates excitement.
Talking about my generation.
And good afternoon, race fans. Welcome here as we get set for race number 13, the final race of the first half of the regular season, Season 7 of the NNSCRA Duracell Next Gen Cup Series, as we are here in Joliet, Illinois, the Chicagoland Speedway. 81 laps of racing on tap for these drivers here today. Final opportunity for a driver to win their way into the upcoming All-Star race via a points-paying race. And of course, as well, a lot of drivers eyeing this particular race as an opportunity to, if not win, at least have a good finish and have some good momentum heading into the second half of the regular season in preparation for a potential playoff push. Well, yesterday, I should say, I was going to say last night, but it was actually yesterday afternoon, we ended up having some late session dramatics. That shows that we commentators sometimes count our chickens before they hatch as well. I thought Will Goss was going to snap our 12 different pole sitter streak and become the first repeat pole sitter on the season, and Ryan Butcher said no sir, and he in the last few moments of the final round of qualifying captured the pole position. He'll be the one to lead us to green, completes the sweep. All three of the Auto Junction racing drivers have now started a race this season from the pole. That's some good momentum for Ryan Butcher as well. Had a decent outing at Darlington last week, gained 3 spots in the standings. He'll be coming into this one 29th in overall points, but don't forget the 78 team has had a lot of playoff experience. Ryan himself has had a lot of playoff experience, not only here in a Toyota, but I think back to the very early days of the Duracell Cup Series when he drove the number 24. He ended up having to win at Pensacola Road Course and was in the playoffs, but this 78 car, of course, won the regular season championship back in Season 5. Ryan Butcher won a race in the second half of last year's regular season and was in the playoffs, so keep an eye on him today. Could be the day that he really turns up the wick and puts himself back into the playoff conversation. Will Goss will line up on his outside, though. Will top 10 in the points, staying 6th in overall points. Of course, a former winner on the season. He's looking to join Casey Hoyt and Matthew Rodriguez as a repeat winner on the year. He is 66 points out of the points lead as well, so mathematically he cannot head into the second half of the regular season as the points leader, but he could certainly close up the gap and be close. That regular season championship, we don't talk a lot about it here in the early portion of the season, but I guarantee you we'll be talking an awful lot about it near the close of the regular season, because that is 15 playoff points right there for the driver that eventually ends up winning the regular season championship. And last year we ended up having it kind of in doubt on whether or not whoever ended up being the regular season champion was going to end up even making it into the playoffs, because we had a lot of different winners, and a lot of the drivers up towards the top of the point standings didn't have a win, so we didn't know if they were going to lock themselves in. With the point system that we have here this season and the playoff criteria, it's guaranteed. Whoever ends up winning the regular season championship will be in the playoffs, because the top 10 overall points, they will be competing for the championship with 6 wildcard spots for those that have wins or those that are high up in the point standings, should there be available spots in that regard. But it's time to go down trackside. It's time to get those most famous words in motorsports. It's time to go racing here at Chicagoland Speedway.
Gentlemen, start your engines!
Nice evening, long day. It's going to be a lot of adjustment. gonna be a lot of fun, guys. This is a real race here. We're gonna have a blast tonight. I can't wait to get out there and get going.
Right side of your screen, you'll see your official starting lineup for today's race here from Chicagoland. First time that the next-gen cars have been at the Chicagoland Speedway. Only the second time that we've been here at this venue in a Duracell Cup Series race. First and only time, Season 1, playoff race number 1. Chicagoland has had an absence from Seasons 2 through 6. It's back here in Season 7. Only defending winner, the only former winner here at Chicagoland, Jose Mills, in that playoff race in Season 1. Most wins driver in the Duracell Cup Series. Pretty long winless streak for him, as we've well documented, but some good momentum coming into this race. He gained the second most spots in the standings last week, +7 after Darlington. He's 20th in overall points coming to this one, and qualified well also, advancing into the Fast 10, rolling off the grid from the 9th position. But one Toyota Camry, the pace car, will hand the field over to another Toyota Camry in the Gatorade number 78 Toyota of Ryan Butcher, who will get us under green, and man was ready for the green flag to fly. Punched the accelerator. He's going to have a pretty good gap back to the side-by-side between Laura Chung and Will Goss. Early going, we know the tires will fall off, so you're going to see some aggressive racing here. Drivers trying to get every position they possibly can before things spread out. RJ Bishop really high there off of 4. I think I might have seen some sparks come off the right rear flare. Might have gotten a piece of the wall, as he's faded back already. Nearly 4 wide, settled out there with Jose Mills and Matt Haas. Also saw near 4 wide a little bit further back in the field. Everybody kind of settling it out for the moment, trying to figure out their positioning. James Qualls, this is for 4th, between him and Mitchell Collins. Looks like the top 3 have gotten themselves spaced out pretty well. Butcher the leader, Chung in 2nd, Goss into 3rd. And then the ongoing battle, 4th place, Qualls and Collins. Jose Mills slipping up off the bottom, opens up the door. Carson Gum back there. That's for, I think, the 8th spot. Qualls is going to clear Mitchell Collins. He'll slide into the 4th position. Opens up the door for Matt Haas to try and challenge now for a spot inside the top 5. Anthony McCurry's Mazda right behind him. Still double wide, almost 3 wide, back towards the rear of the field. About mid-pack to rear of the field there. About 2-3 rows deep. Let's go back to this. Nathan Norman's in the middle of it. Caleb Fogler, Dylan Young. This is a home track for Dylan Young out of the Chicago area. Got it pretty well double filed there, but 3 wide back here. Ooh, that's 4. Rob Evans, 2nd in points, was in the middle of that. Quentin Moore, Reggie Fogelman, Kyle Matthews. We'll settle it out to 3. These cars don't look all that steady. Could be the air there. Chicagoland, pretty spacious, but at the same time, when you're trying to side draft, a lot of movement of the race cars. Looks like they're doing a good job keeping it together, though. 3 wide further up here. Fogler, Sanford. Reese Banks had a great run last week at Darlington. Probably one of his best performances since his first career victory late last year at Talladega. Up 10 spots in the standings with that run, and he is just outside of the top 10 in overall points as well. Knocking on the door, 2 points back. 11th in overall points coming into this one. 3rd place. Goss going to hold off Mitchell Collins. James Qualls looks to take advantage there. Carson Gum right behind him. 2 Toyotas leading, then 2 Fords, 2 Chevrolets, then the Mazda of Anthony McCrory. Anthony with a great run last week at Darlington, up 6 spots in the standings. He was in the top 10 in points a few weeks ago, then hit a bit of a cold streak. Fell down outside of the top 15, clawing his way back up towards the top 10. Right now inside the top 10 in the overall running results also, in 7th place. There's the guy that found victory lane last week at Darlington, Dylan Pote, right now in 8th spot. Mathematically, I don't believe he can go into the second half of the regular season as the points leader, but he could certainly be very much so in the conversation with a good run today. After his win last week, up 4 spots in the standings, 3rd overall in points and 39 points out of the top spot. The battle today is pretty much going to still be between Casey Hoyt and Rob Evans. 19 points, Hoyt over Evans coming into this one. Casey right now running in 18th, Rob Evans running back in 34th, so obvious advantage to the 2-time winner, Casey Hoyt. Not sure if it really means much, but this is the 3rd mile-and-a-half track that we have been at this season. The other 2 mile-and-a-half racetracks, Las Vegas and Texas, where Kyler Sustre and Connor Breton have gone to victory lane. Both of them rookies. So do we look at a driver donning the rookie stripes to maybe make it 3 for 3 in winning at the mile-and-a-half tracks here in Season 7? I don't know. There's only one of them really up here towards the front, that being Will Goss, who's going to offer the draft a little bit of a push to Laura Chung, and that's going to propel her to the race lead. First lead change of the day. After Ryan Butcher led the first 11 laps, his teammate Laura Chung will now lead the field here at Chicago. 3 wide for 3rd place. I think Carson Gum might have cleared Mitchell Collins. Well, maybe not. Collins might still be to the right rear. Now Gum is definitely clear, at least on that camera shot. And he'll slide into 3rd spot. Will Goss putting the pressure on Laura Chung for the race lead. Both of these drivers in their rookie seasons finding victory lane. Chung last year ended up winning at Watkins Glen. Advanced into the playoffs, was in the conversation for the championship in the Final 4 in the finale at Michigan. Will Goss, of course, this season getting the year started off right, and only his 6th career start. Well, as a full-timer, I should say. He had some previous starts back in Season 5, but got his first career win at North Wilkesboro. Both of these drivers now, here today, looking for what would be their 2nd win of their Duracell Cup Series careers. We saw last week the Chevrolet out of Fortnite Squad Racing of Dylan Pote go to victory lane. Looks like they've got the Mazda side figured out pretty well as also over at FSR. And Carson Gum hoping that the Chevy luck continues his way as he's battling with Mitchell Collins. Carson, the former champion, former Daytona 500 winner, 28th in overall points coming into this one, as he will lose the spot to Mitchell Collins, utilizing that outside line, that momentum off the corners and onto the straights. Gum will drop back to 4th. Ryan Butcher right behind him, and then his teammate. A couple of other drivers here having some good runs. Talked about Jose Mills. Keep an eye on him. The only driver that formerly took a checkered flag here at Chicagoland. How about Matt McIntyre? Good run for the 21. Right now holding on to the 10th position. As a matter of fact, you got 2 McIntyres, nose to tail. Levi there as well. Our former winner from Pocono this season. Matt McIntyre 35th. Right now in overall points. However, you consider the start to the year he had. Missed out on the Mid-Ohio race as a chartered full-timer. A lot of DNFs. He has really turned things around here in the last few weeks. The problem is he dug himself so big a hole that He's only gaining a few spots here, a few spots there in points. He is on the ascent right now in terms of momentum, and he could make a second half of the regular season push towards a playoff spot. Daniel Voiles right now holding down 12th in the Oreo Ford Mustang. Saw right there through 3 and 4. Looks like the splitter. Looks like the ride height on that car might be quite low. Saw the splitter bounce. Maybe over the bump there through the center of 3 and 4. That'll unsettle the race car a lot. Really affect the handling. Voiles 31st in points coming into this one. There's Kyler Sustre. Sustre needs points. He's got a victory at Las Vegas. He needs points to be inside the top 30 in the overall standings to be even eligible for a wild card spot. And right now he is 13 points behind said 35th in the standings cut line, 34th in overall points. He's one of 2 drivers coming into this race that has a win but is below the cut line. Connor Breton being the other. Breton is 36th in overall points, 16 points out of the top 30. Pit stops maybe here? No, not just yet. Fuel window we know is going to be about 25 laps. Some drivers, if they save enough, could go 26 to 27 laps. But that's all dependent on what they're able to do during the course of the run. And honestly, I feel like the best strategy is to come to pit road early, right at that lap 25 mark, because I think this is going to be somewhat similar to the races that we've seen the last couple of weeks. Interstate 69 and Darlington, that you come to pit road, you get those fresher tires, you get that good out lap, and I think it's going to gain you track position in the long haul. We saw Caleb Fogler and Dylan Poteet both utilize that strategy in the 2 last races that eventually translated to checkered flags for them both. And I observed this during the first round of qualifying yesterday, and I'm seeing it again here in race. The tire fall off is definitely there. I mean, you look even at our race leader right now, Laura Chung, her best lap was a 29.9. She just ran a 30.4. That is a half second of tire fall off right there. So I look back through some of these other drivers here. I'm seeing anywhere from 0.3 to a full half second of tire fall off. As the battle is on for second place, Ryan Butcher trying to make it 1-2 for the Auto Junction Racing Camrys. Will Goss says nope. And Dylan Poteet might be able to swing around the outside and take the 3rd spot. He will do so off of turn number 4. So a couple of laps away from when we'll see some drivers on pit lane. Pit road has been very interesting here in the last few weeks as well. Going all the way back to Texas last month. Coke Zero Super Speedway. That pit road was crazy. Interstate 69, Darlington. We had pit road play just as much of a factor for the good and or bad luck of drivers as the racetrack itself. Just notice Kyle Matthews is flying up here almost into the top 10. He just passed about 5 or 6 cars in the last 3 laps. When I saw him, he was about 16th. He just passed Jose Mills. That was for 11th. So Matthews is flying right now. And we got pitters. Chung's coming in from the lead. Will Goss, Ryan Butcher, Carson Gum, Daniel Voiles, Kyle Matthews, and others on pit road this time. We got about half the field on pit road this lap. Number of drivers staying out. Dylan Poteet and Mitchell Collins amongst them. I believe that was a pass right there for the lead. Poteet led the lap, but Collins gets around him on the back straightaway and might be the one leading this group down pit road. Yep, 33's in, 31's in. Anthony McCurry's coming in. Qualls, Sustre. Is anybody going to try staying out another extra lap? Looks like somebody did. Couldn't tell who that was, though. Ryan Brommer in the 87. See if this strategy call works out for the Mug Root Beer Toyota Camry. Last couple of weeks, he has really been good. Talking about Ryan Brommer. Brommer coming into this one 25th in points. This is another driver. We talked about Matt McIntyre missing out on the Mid-Ohio race. Ryan Brommer also missed out on the Mid-Ohio race. Has been down outside the top 30 in points, but he had a great run at I-69. Had a great run last week at Darlington. Little contact there between him and Chris Dollerton. Dollerton gets half spun on pit road, but he'll continue on. And now the question is, who does the lead cycle out to? Will Goss might have had a slow pit stop. This doesn't look like he's going to cycle back around to where he was. Boy, things are really intermingled right now. We'll have to see who the leader is. Could be up in this group here. This could be the battle for the lead. Kyle Matthews, Laura Chung. Well, I mentioned the 09 looked really fast there in those final few laps leading up to the green flag pit stops, and apparently his pit crew was also fast. I think that the Beast Chevy Camaro is going to cycle to the lead, and it does. Kyle Matthews, top of the board. Chung now in second, looking for the race lead back. Trying to do it on the bottom. Let's see if the fresh tires give enough grip for Chung to be able to make that pass on Matthews. I don't think it's going to work. Matthews definitely going to have the preferred line here, and that classic mile-and-a-half maneuver of top to bottom, put the air on the nose, cross it across the nose of Laura Chung and get her aero tight. Kyle Matthews, the race leader. And talk about a driver that really could use some good momentum. The former champion from Season 5 was a playoff contender last year after he locked himself into the playoffs with a win at Coke Zero SS. But this season, only one recorded top 10, and he is the furthest down the point standings of the drivers that have started all 13 races this season. 40th in overall points. Could be a big day for Kyle Matthews if he's able to close this thing out, but my calculations say we have 2 more pit stops coming up. Kyler Sustre cycled up to the 3rd spot. We've talked about how his qualifying efforts have been good, but his race results have not indicated how fast the car is. Well, he wasn't all that great in qualifying this week. Looks like he's got a pretty good race machine, though. Teammates battling it out for 4th. Dylan Poteet and Carson Gum. That's 4th and 5th. For the Chevrolet half of Fortnite Squad Racing. Daniel Voiles cycles to the 6th position. Levi McIntyre in 7th. Dylan Young 8th. Then Casey Hoyt and James Qualls right now are your top 10 after the cycle of that first round of green flag pit stops. Matt McIntyre up in 11th. Quentin Moore in 12th. Reese Banks, Caleb Fogler are going to battle for 13th and 14th. Actually, did I say that Qualls was up there in the top 10? No, Qualls is back here actually in 16th. That's the other. I think I did this last week as well at Darlington. I get those Castrol cars. They're pretty similar as far as the livery, and I get them confused. That's Osborne actually. That's in the 10th position. Well, Osborne and Quentin Moore out of Joanna Atwood Motorsports are the only 2 drivers so far this season now that have not yet recorded a top 10, as we got a battle on for the lead again. Chung relentless on that inside line against Kyle Matthews. Osborne right now running in 10th. Quentin Moore running in 12th. We may have every one of our full-time drivers record a top 10 at the conclusion of this one, but still a long ways to go. And as they're side-by-side battling here at the front, is bringing more drivers into the conversation. Kyler Sustre's up here now. Dylan Poteet's up here now. Levi McIntyre is caught onto the draft. Carson Gum, Daniel Voiles. We're about to have a blanket thrown over the entire top 10 here in just a moment. And that little push down the backstretch, courtesy of Kyler Sustre, puts Laura Chung back out in front in the 77. Chung's led the most laps so far today, 13 in total. Her teammate Ryan Butchers led the second most at 11. Kyle Matthews with 6 circuits out in front, 2 laps led for Ryan Brommer. And Dylan Poteet with 1 lap out in front. Talked about with Ryan Butcher getting the pole position here for this one. All three of the Auto Junction racing cars have now started from the inside of the front row. All three of the Auto Junction racing cars have led laps here today as well. Ryan Brommer with that lap led during the green flag pit stops. Ryan Butcher led in the early going after starting the pole, and Laura Chung led about the second half of that run and now back out in the race lead, 3 wide. A couple of former winners on the year, Dylan Poteet, Levi McIntyre, and then Kyle Matthews up on the top side of that 3 wide. Casey Hoyt trying to be the first 3-time winner on the season. He and Matt Rodriguez, the only 2 that have multiple wins on the season, and the U-Haul Ford Mustang, the points leader, up here in this lead group. Casey Hoyt's 2 victories on the season, 2 entirely different racetracks. One at Manassas earlier on the season. I'm trying to remember, I think Manassas, yeah, Manassas was a 2-mile speedway. And then, of course, had the win at the 3-mile super speedway, Coke Zero Super Speedway, a few weeks ago. Now trying to win at another different configuration racetrack. Had another speedway to his repertoire, but this time 1.5 miles in length. For just inside the top 10. Quentin Moore, Caleb Fogler. Ooh, Kyle might have gotten the wall right there, I think. Just the least little bit. Well, we saw Chris Dollerton have that contact with Ryan Brommer on pit road. Obviously, if anything pit road related during that green flag cycle was of note, you've seen it courtesy of the NCRA split cam, but looks like Dollerton is right now running about 11 seconds ahead of the race leaders. Last car running, last car on the lead lap. Anthony McCurry also apparently had some pit road issues. He's back here in the 41st spot. Charles Sanford, RJ Bishop, right now in 39th and 40th. Another week where RJ Bishop had a fast qualifying effort, but the run's not translating to anything super amazing, at least not at the moment. Charles Sanford, this is a bit of a surprise because I thought the defending champion had finally found his footing. Had a great run last week at Darlington, moved up 7 spots to 17th in points, but this is not a good follow-up here at Chicagoland. Cody Lamas as well back here in 38th. Michael Norman. There's 2-time winner Matthew Rodriguez trying to make his way back up into the top 10 in points. Right now he holds the first wild card spot with his 2 victories. He's 13th in overall points right now. Will Goss. I mentioned it didn't look like Will had a good pit stop because it looked like he was not going to be cycling around anywhere close to where he came to pit road. He was in the top 5 when the pit stop cycle began. He's back here in 35th. And Connor Breton, man, had that great run, that win at Texas, and I thought maybe this is a guy that we were going to see move up through the point standings, keep himself in a playoff conversation position, but last couple of weeks after falling out of the top 30 in points, he has not only not been able to work his way back in the top 30, it's almost as if the gap has continued to increase the last couple of weeks. So not good there for the driver of the 88. As Laura Chung continues to show the way, Levi McIntyre is making strides. He just passed Dylan Poteet for the 2nd spot. Levi has never had a multi-win season in his career. He's gone to victory lane, obviously, in the past seasons, but only once each year. Trying to follow up his win at Pocono this season out of that single-car entry, Shadow Cult Racing. Looking very good right now as he tries to close up the gap between himself and Laura Chung. Poteet going to battle back, though, and may have a little idea of getting 2nd place back. The 2 of them, though, had a bit of a tandem down the backstretch and closed up a ton of ground between themselves and Chung, and McIntyre's going to try and go for the lead here on the front straightaway. Poteet says, I see a little bit of a lane down there. I'm going to think about taking this thing 3 wide. It's not going to work. He's going to have to lift, and McIntyre through the middle groove had a nice arc into the corner, and Levi will go to the point. First time that the Andy's Hot Fries, Andy Cap's Hot Fries Ford Mustang will be out in front. battle will be on for second. Look, Quentin Moore. What was he, 12th, I think, when the green flag cycles completed? And now he's up here battling for a spot inside the top 5. Quentin Moore, former winner of the Duracell Cup Series. Last year as a rookie, went coast to coast, pole to win at Dover. Granted, he got a little bit of help. That was a showcase race. Tyler Gerdes ended up winning that event, and that ended up putting the chartered entry of Quentin Moore on the pole. Dover, very much so a track position venue, but Quentin was able to keep them all at bay, pick up that victory this year. We've documented it very well. It's been a very struggling start to his second full-time season. 30th in overall points, still looking to record a top 10, but right now, he may record more than that. He's got one of the fastest cars in Chicagoland, at least for the moment. That's the thing we saw last week at Darlington. Drivers have their cars come alive, and drivers have their cars fade with the subsequent pit stops and potential adjustments made during the course of those pit stops. Look at this guy right here, our winner from a couple of weeks ago, Caleb Fogler, a former champion, right now running in 8th, but you think back to last week at Darlington, I thought he was going to be one of the drivers potentially that was going to win that race. But after one of the rounds of pit stops, he faded quickly. Lost a number of spots on a green flag run, and you could translate that back to a possible adjustment that did not work out. Seeing a lot of drivers that were up at the front here in the early going, they've now kind of faded out of view. Ryan Butcher, one of those drivers, he's now all the way back mired in the 18th position. Matt Haas was up here towards the front, he's back in 16th. Jose Mills is mired back in 24th place, so a lot of drivers that, 10 laps in, you would have thought, yep, I think they are definitely going to be in the conversation. Now they're mired in the mid-pack area. Very well could be because of adjustments. Also could be with the laps that they elected to come down pit road. We had a couple of big packs there for the first groups. Things get congested. Even just a minor pump of the brakes can cost you time afterwards on the racetrack once everything cycles around. Doesn't seem like much, but it can get exacerbated once everybody's back out on the racetrack and up to full speed. Levi McIntyre out in front, and I think we are nearing what would be the second round of green flag pit stops here. See who's going to be the first one to duck onto pit lane. Looked like a lot of the front runners that short pitted last time around benefited. And Daniel Voiles is going to be the first of those here, along with Carson Gum, Laura Chung, Casey Hoyt, and others. Dylan Young, Reese Banks. You got some others that were on pit road earlier there. Dustin Boland leaving pit lane. Keith Batson, Charles Sanford. I think I just saw Kyle Matthews leaving pit lane also. Connor Breeton's in this lap. RJ Bishop, Anthony McCurry, Chris Dollerton also on pit lane. Let's see if the race leader McIntyre has his hand out the window this time by. Indeed he will. Ryan Brommer, he's been playing the strategy of staying out a little bit longer than everybody else. Did it on the first round of pit stops, does it again here. Looked like he had actually made up some pretty good ground with that strategy as well. We'll see if it works out again for him here. A few others also playing the same strategy. Joshua Osborne, Reggie Fogelman, Jesse Turner, Jose Mills, Nick Gunther, Mitchell Collins, Jessica Schulten, and Matthew Rodriguez going the extra lap here on this run. They will all have to make at least one more pit stop here around the lap 75 mark, but I don't know, maybe some of these guys, they're staying out that extra lap, they might go with fuel only, might not even change tires. I'm going to stick with the 26 of Voiles, just because he was one of the first ones on pit road here. We'll see if it cycles him out to the lead, and it might, because that's Levi McIntyre, who was the leader when the pit stop cycle began, and they're going to bypass him. Whoa, gracious. Carson Gum trying to pin the 99 down, get some side draft, and those two nearly just wrecked going into 3. still waiting for everything to cycle around. You had those 9 drivers that I documented staying out that extra lap that still have not been scored with where they're supposed to be after the cycle. Ryan Brommer is going to gain track position again in that 87. He's going to be up here maybe inside of the top 5. And I do believe Daniel Boyles is going to cycle out to the race lead, or is he? Carson Gum wants it. Voiles will lead the lap. But Carson Gum is going to take the top position, though, with help from a fellow Chevrolet, Kyle Matthews, behind him. And Charles Sanford is right now about to go a lap down in the 03 car. But he's kind of offering a little bit of a tow, potentially, for the 19 to try and take the lead. A little... Couldn't tell if that was tight or loose for Carson Gum there going into 3. Voiles looks to take advantage, get the lead back. Carson did not lead the lap, did not get the bonus point. Voiles, by half a car length on the top side, led yet another lap here. Carson trying again here down the back straightaway, and I think he's going to have to give up because I think the 26, he's going to get the draft off the 03 here down the back stretch. Ooh, that time definitely looked loose, did Carson. Almost got his left side down on the white line, and Kyle Matthews looked to take advantage. So let's see how things cycled around after the second pit stop cycle. Daniel Voiles, now the race leader. Carson Gum into second. Kyle Matthews third. Ryan Brommer fourth. And Levi McIntyre in fifth. That is the highest running of the former winners on the season. Another former winner right behind him in Poteet sixth, looking for 2 in a row. Quentin Moore cycles into 7th. Rob Evans is now up to 8th, and look who he's battling with. The 2 drivers duking it out for the overall points lead to start off the second half of the regular season. Side by side for 8th, Hoyt and Evans. Top 10 completed right now by Kyler Sustre. Nathan Ormond in a battle for 11th with Caleb Fogler. Reggie Fogelman right now in 13th. Joshua Osborne in 14th. 15th, Reese Banks. Then Matt McIntyre 16th, 17th, Destin Bolin, his teammate Dylan Young in 18th, pole sitter Ryan Butcher in 19th, and then a gaggle of cars here for 20th place. Matt Haas, Austin LaPlante, Zachary Fitzwater, Jesse Turner, and Laura Chung in this mix. What happened to the 77 on this pit stop? Laura Chung, who's led the most laps today, 24 in total, right now running P24 after that cycle. So things did not work out well for her on this pit stop. Charles Sanford has gone a lap down. Daniel Voiles has completed the pass on the 03. Stacked up 3 wide for second place with the lap car between Voiles and them. That was Matthews, Carson Gum, Dylan Poteet. Looks like Carson's going to take the second spot here through 3 and 4. Poteet now looking for third place on Matthews. Sustre sees room, gonna shoot up the middle. And he might complete that pass. Well, he got around Matthews. Not gonna be able to get around Poteet just yet. Now going to pull up alongside down the back stretch here. Ryan Brommer showed the nose, thinking about 3 wide late. He backs out of it. Got potential of another multi-time winner on the season. We got quite a few former winners up here towards the front. Poteet, Sustre, McIntyre, Caleb Fogler as well. Casey Hoyt still there in that conversation to maybe a 3-time winner on the season in his rookie campaign. I think there might have been contact right there. Sustre driving it deep on Poteet. It slid up. A little contact his passenger door to Poteet's driver door. As Gum makes the pass on Charles Sanford. So now no lap machine between Voiles and Gum. We'll see if Carson's able to close up on Daniel Voiles for the race lead. Daniel Voiles, a former winner from last year, 2-time winner as a matter of fact. Carson Gum, though, is looking for his first victory since I believe it would be season 4, if I'm not mistaken. Kyler Sustre now trying to get around the lap machine of Charles Samper. Samper is not off the pace. Let's keep that in mind, because it's not going to be an easy pass for these drivers to get around him, and he's going to try and keep himself up here with this group, because they could potentially reel in some other drivers towards the tail end of the lead lap, like RJ Bishop, Cody Lamas, Chris Dollerton, and Anthony McCrory, and those would be positions and points that Charles Samper could gain. Lead change. Well, we missed it. Carson Gum goes to the point. He finally gets that lap-led bonus point he was looking for. Voiles denied him the last couple of times that Carson tried to take the lead. But now Carson Gum showing the way here. Trying to make it back-to-back weeks that Fortnite Squad Racing goes to victory lane in their Chevrolet department. The Chevy's looking good. The Mazda's faltering, though. We saw Anthony back there in 38th. Nick Gunther right now is 27th. Sustre is into second. Voiles into third. Poteet and Brommer will battle for fourth. I like the strategy on the 26 with his short pit call, but I also like the strategy on the 87 with his long run strat. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty sure Kyle Matthews has got the shortest short pit strategy going on right now of the drivers up here towards the front. And then Voiles about a lap after him. Brommer obviously the longest of anybody, as Kyler Sustre has taken the lead very easily over Carson Gum, who fades all the way back to third and may be in danger of losing that. I don't know what happened with the 19, but all of a sudden he is faded back to the latter spot of the podium. Now he's trying to battle back here on Daniel Voiles for second place. But Sustre very easily got out to the point. And remember, Kyler Sustre won the event at Las Vegas earlier on this season. Between Texas and Las Vegas, Vegas is obviously the closest in configuration to Chicagoland. Not exact and not super similar, but somewhat. And Kyler Sustre and that team obviously would have had the notebook, the winning strategy to maybe utilize here today. Still got that one pit stop to go, though, and that's coming up in the next 7 laps or so. The question is, are you going to go with tires or are you going to go with fuel? Because you're going to be pitting with less than 10 to go, almost around the 5 to go mark. Maybe you go with just right side tires. You're not going to need a full tank of fuel. Based off of calculations, you're only going to need at most half a can. So I don't really know if it's going to be tires on the menu or not. There's got to be somebody in the field here that you got to think is not going to want to spend the time on pit lane changing 4 tires, and they're going to go with the fuel-only strat and may be able to win this race. Maybe a driver we haven't even talked about in the conversation for this win here today. How about Rob Evans there in that 65, though? Great run for him here today. It was looking like it was going to be Casey Hoyt extending his points lead heading into the All-Star break, but Rob Evans right there with him, trying to keep that points gap somewhat stationary, maybe chisel away at it a bit. Right now, Evans the only driver having success today out of the Evans Motorsports stable. Zachary Fitzwater is back in 17th, and Zach Rogers is a non-factor in 33rd right now. Second place, Poteet, trying to take it from Voiles, couldn't do it. Voiles, nice run down the back straightaway there. Closes up the gap between himself and the 4 of Kyler Sustre. Checking back here on Kyle Matthews, because I feel like he's going to be the one that will start this final cycle of pit stops potentially. Right now he's scored in the 10th position. Richie Fogelman, good run today for him. You haven't given him a lot of TV time. Fogelman coming into this one 18th in overall points. Kind of like the Anthony McCurry story. Reggie Fogelman was up 11th in points. He was heading into a race a couple of weeks ago, ready to advance into the top 10 in overall points, and then has hit a bit of a cold streak last couple of weeks. But looking good here again today, as has for the most part the entirety of Northeast Motorsports. Benjamin Miles, his finishes have been good as of late. Austin LaPlante as well. Connor Breton, well, he's got that victory, but it's also outside the top 30 in points, so there is definitely some work still to do there. I say this, though, and it looks like Reggie Fogelman's the only driver that's having a good run today for Northeast Motorsports. Surprisingly, LaPlante's back in 22nd, and Benjamin Miles is back in 33rd. So not seeing a lot of consistency of all drivers out of one team doing well. It's pretty split. As Sustre still out in front. Does Matthews pit? I think Matthews had... No, maybe not. No, Matthews hasn't pit yet. Getting close. It's going to be around this point. They're going to have to come to pit road. Is Evans maybe coming in this time? No, nobody yet. Oh, somebody's pitting back here. It's Matthews. He's coming down by himself. We got a car in the grass. That's Matt Haas in the 8. I don't know what was going on there, but he saved it. We're still green. He was through the grass on the front straightaway. He didn't pass anybody, so, and I don't know necessarily at a mile and a half if there's a rule against going below the white line to advance your position. I don't think there is. Sustre's in. Voiles, Poteet, Gum. So we got Matthews with the ultimate short pit strategy. Flip that over to Ryan Brommer on the long run strat. He's been one of the last drivers onto pit lane the last 2 cycles, and he is the race leader. Let's see. I don't think he can make it on fuel. I don't think it's possible, but let's see which side of the coin is going to be the correct one. Brommer stays out an extra lap. McIntyre's in this time from 2nd place. Reggie Fogelman will stay out. Caleb Fogler, Jesse Turner. It was 3 to go there at the line for the 87. What about any of these guys back here? I mentioned that there could be somebody we haven't talked about all day that could maybe pull off an ultimate strategy. What about Turner? 4th in points. Fitzwater right behind him. He's already got a win at Mid-Ohio. I think Turner's staying out another lap. He is. He'll be coming around at 2 to go. Does Turner have the fuel to make it? Brommer pit that lap. So too did Fogler and Reggie Fogelman. Trying to listen to see if the 47 is saving. Let's see if he throws out the hand to pit this time, or does he try to make it one more circuit? He's low here through 3 and 4. Looks like he's braking. I think he's coming in. So who is the race leader? Is it going to be Voiles? Voiles is ahead of Sustre. He jumped him on the pit stop. Where's the 87 of Brommer? That's the guy that I'm kind of curious about here. Oh, here he is with Fogelman. Are they going to get up to speed before Voiles and Sustre get to them? I think the white flag's going to be displayed this time. Look at Brommer pinning it down the inside, not letting Fogelman have a chance here to bypass him. Caleb Fogler with a big run there. Sustre got around Voiles for 3rd. I believe, yeah, the white flag was just displayed. Ryan Brommer with the short pit strat. There's Turner coming off pit road, trying to hold off Reggie Fogelman. It is Brommer versus Fogelman here for the win at Chicagoland. Ryan Brommer gonna cross over the nose of the 24. I think he's got it. He played the long strategy on pit road all day long. It's gonna translate to a victory. Ryan Brommer, the winner here at Chicagoland. Or is he? Hold on. We gotta wait for everything to cycle. Wait, is Brommer the... Wait, whoa, 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 whoa. Hold the phone, folks. I may have not even paid attention to scoring correctly. Brommer's not the winner. Shelton is. Jessica Shelton is the winner. Where in the world was the 94? Where's the 94 at? The scoring says Shelton's the winner. Did she cross the line on pit road? No, no way. I thought it was Brommer cycling around. I thought everybody else had pit. Shelton had stayed out. We got to go back and look at a replay here. We got to look at a replay of the race winner. What in the world happened? Jessica Shelton, the Project Dodge Intrepid, according to scoring, is the winner of this race. But we got to figure out how this has happened. We got to go a long ways back here. Where is the 94 car? Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Guys, this is amazing. Remember when I said somebody we haven't talked about all day could snipe this win? Here it is. This is via replay. This is coming to the white flag. Shelton's still out. Jesse Turner had come to pit road. Shelton inherits the lead. The white flag was displayed. Watch this. Watch what goes down here. Shelton's in a whole gaggle of cars that had all been to pit road. And watch this. Gets to the inside. Shelton's got her hand out the window. She's coming to pit road. And Jessica Shelton, because her pit stall was past the start-finish line, is going to come down pit lane, and she is going to cross the start-finish line while on pit road. Watch this, right here. Right there was the start-finish line. She crosses it, she pulls into her pit stall, she's out of fuel, and takes the checkered flag. How about that? Talk about late race dramatics. And it's official. Standings are official. Shelton's the winner of this race. That might be the first time I can ever recall a race like that occurring in the Duracell Cup Series. And I think that this has to be the weekend of don't count your chickens, because we did it in qualifying yesterday. We gave Will Goss the pole, and then Ryan Butcher rather, sniped the pole position. Today, I gave Ryan Brommer the victory. I thought he had it over Fogelman with his strategy. And Jessica Shelton on fumes on pit road is able to pull off the victory. Well, last season, we saw a project car, a Mazda out of Fortnite Squad Racing, with Nick Gunther go to victory lane 4 times. The road has been less than smooth in the Project Dodge Intrepid out of S3 Motorsports this season, but Jessica Shelton, who is one of the best when it comes to fuel strategy and saving fuel, showcases that here today. It is the Project Dodge Intrepid's first win in Duracell Cup Series history, and it takes place here at the Chicagoland Speedway. This racetrack hasn't been on the schedule since Season 1. What an impact it has made in its return in Season 7. Shelton came into this one 39th in overall points. She's been on a good momentum run as of late, but really has needed to gain back a lot of the points she lost in the early going of the season. Today could be a step in the right direction. The organization that has won the championship in back-to-back seasons get their first win on the year with Shelton at Chicagoland. What an incredible finish. What a race here today. Who knew it was going to come down that close on fuel? Ryan Brommer, I thought he was the winner. He'll be second place. A great run, though, for him, continuing on his momentum streak. Reggie Fogelman is going to complete the podium. Kyler Sustre will bring it home in 4th. Needed those points here today, did the former non-charter winner. Daniel Voiles will bring it home in the 5th position. Caleb Fogler will be 6th. Dylan Poteen in 7th. So our 2 most recent winners will bring it home inside of the top 7. Jesse Turner He tried to make it on fuel, couldn't do it, but he'll bring it home in 8th. Fitzwater and Osborne are going to complete the top 10. Then it'll be Mitchell Collins, Levi McIntyre, Casey Hoyt, Kyle Matthews, Rob Evans, the top 15. Hoyt will gain a couple more points on Evans for the overall points lead heading into the second half of the regular season. Top 20 will be Matt McIntyre, Reese Banks, Ryan Butcher, our pole sitter, Austin LaPlante, and Carson Gum. We had 34 drivers finish on the lead lap. Laura Chung, who led the most laps, will finish last of the lead lap cars in 34th. Rodriguez, Norman, Breton, McCurry, Dollarton, Lamas, Bishop, and Sanford will all finish a lap down. Most of that in relation to the result of the green flag pit stops. Sanford ended up losing a lap during green flag running on the second green flag stint. But all 42 drivers reached the conclusion, and Jessica Shelton was able to play out the strategy to perfection. On fumes, she crossed the start-finish line to pick up her first win on the season. What an incredible way to end off the first half of the regular season, preparing ourselves for the All-Star break and then refreshing, getting set for that run towards the playoffs, the portion of the season I call it the chase towards the chase for the championship. A lot of storylines we're going to be talking about beginning at the Coke 600 at Charlotte Motor Speedway once that playoff push begins. But congratulations to Shelton on the victory today here at Chicagoland. What an incredible weekend this was. If you guys enjoyed it, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We showed you your full finish results. You're now looking at the results in the point standings after this one. This is what the points look like heading into that second half of the regular season, as next week we are at the Atlanta Super Speedway, the All-Star Open, last opportunities for drivers to race their way into the All-Star race, and then that All-Star race on Sunday evening. Hope you guys will tune in for that one. That'll get us set for our final of the Crown Jewel races. We've already done the 500, we've already done Indianapolis, and we've already done Darlington. Now we got the Coke 600, the longest race of the season. That'll kick off the second half of the regular season here, Season 7 of the Duracell Next Gen Cup Series. But until then, I've been Seth Cole, and you've been watching another broadcast, courtesy of NNSCRA TV, offline racing at its best.